Welcome back, Warrior Rising family. I am Alyssa, and today we have a special treat with Michelle, who is our Salt Lake City champion from this year. She is the founder of LymeAlert, and we're really excited to kind of jump in and talk about her experience, her business, and what is next for LymeAlert. So, Michelle, welcome.
Thank you so much, Alyssa, for having us, and to the whole Warrior Rising crew. It's a fantastic experience.
Awesome. So, for your kind of your brand origin story, can you just share with us what exactly inspired LymeAlert? How did it start?
Yeah, so I was active duty Air Force, retired out of the Air Force scientist, decided I wanted to pivot, kind of do a crazy pivot into entrepreneurship, which meant I felt like in order to buy down some risk of entering that, I wanted to go back to school and get an MBA. So I was lucky enough to get accepted into the MIT Sloan Fellows MBA program. And that's where I met my other co founders. So, really, the idea came from Erin Dewicki, who is our CEO. She's a healthcare provider and she sees kids with Lyme disease. And she started our MIT program, and one of her classes suggested that she think of a really innovative idea around the Lyme disease space. And she, did some time thinking about it and came up with the fact that people are always asking, "What do I do with the tick?" I here's my child, they had a tick. What do I do with it? And she said, "Nothing. I'm just going to put you on prophylactic antibiotics." So she thought, well, what if we could test the tick? And honestly, that's where Lyme Alert was born. So over the last basically 2.5 years, we have developed the first at-home tick testing kit for Lyme disease so that people can take ownership and be empowered to test the tick themselves at home and know whether they or their child or their pet was exposed.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, so I actually got Lyme disease when I was like 2 years old.
Oh my
From
gosh.
upstate New York.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
so, like, and I didn't have any, like, crazy it was caught right away and everything like that.
Good.
But so when I hear about something like this, I'm like, "Oh, that probably would have been beneficial for all the" we had a very big camping family, so we were
Mhm.
outdoors a lot. So really interesting to hear about it. And as far as pitching your business, how was that like, in front of that crowd in Salt Lake City?
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Well, first of all, I felt so lucky to be with the cohort of the other, 11 other companies, veteran-owned companies who are doing things that are really going to help change the world and change their
Yeah.
communities. So that was fun because we had that shared experience and we're all going into this crazy world of entrepreneurship. So it was just a really supportive, wonderful community. So that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then getting up and pitching in front of the judges for the first round was nerve-wracking. It always is, but it was exciting to share what we were doing and then to hear the really thoughtful questions from the judges.
Yep.
And then being on stage and not knowing who was going to pitch for the live three. Yeah, that's a different way to do it, but
Yeah.
it was really fun and um, thrilled again to be able to share what we're doing, and the audience was super receptive and supportive. So yeah, it was fun, and
Yeah.
the WWE belt at the end is pretty
Oh,
fantastic.
yeah, that's always a really fun little takeaway, right? Because it's heavy too. It's a real heavyweight belt. I'm like, so
No
it's
joke.
yeah, it is legit, and you get to take that home, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
But what's, the pieces of advice or one piece that you live by that you would give to another aspiring veteran entrepreneur, military spouse, family member, whoever it is that maybe they don't know when to start, maybe they're afraid to start, what would that be?
I think it's just know you are not alone, and it is overwhelming. I mean, I talked about how I wanted to buy down risk, and that's why I went back to school, but you don't have to go back to like formal school. Warrior Rising and other organizations like that have amazing resources to help you figure out where to start, how to do your market research, and then where to go from there, figuring out what the problem is, what the potential solution is, and whether people really want that and will pay for it.
Yeah.
You're not alone. Look for your network and we reach out to organizations like Warrior Rising and
Yeah.
the other veteran supporting entrepreneurship programs. Yeah, don't try to do it alone. Don't waste your time. Use the resources that are out there.
Yeah.
That's my biggest recommendation.
Absolutely, because entrepreneurship in general can be or is, primarily lonely. It can be. It doesn't have to be the entire time. So I like that you touch on that, that you find that community or tribe or whatever you want to call it, which is
Mhm.
really important, especially, with those who want to find like-minded individuals. If they're going through the same thing, they understand the military transition. So I like that you had pointed that out because it's typically a very lonely space to be in as a business owner. So it's really important to know that you do have a community out there that supports you and understands where you're coming from. So a big part of these interviews too is talking about how the grant dollars that you get from, pitching, winning, support your business, but also those donors like to hear how are you using it? Did you already use it? And what would you like to say to those donors if you could talk to them right now?
Thank you for helping accelerate getting our product to market. We are still on task with getting our kits ready for market by this summer, and that $50,000 that we won is directly going to getting our injection mold tooling produced, and then our first 100,000. It doesn't cover the whole 100,000, but it's a
Yeah,
significant chunk of what we need to get our production started. So that's exactly where it's going, and it's helping us move faster. So, so grateful. Yeah, it's going to good use and it's moving fast.
love that. Love to hear it. And I know that they love to follow up with the founders and like, how did they use the money? Like, where did it go? And I'm like, easy, I'll ask them, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Usually,
yeah.
and usually it's like right away. They're like, we have a plan. You guys pitch it, as well. Like this is like how I would distribute the money. So it's really, really interesting to kind of follow up and be like, did you still use it the same way?
Yeah,
Um,
we did definitely.
yeah. So another question I really like to ask is, what do women bring to the business space that's maybe different? And then maybe it's not something that's gender specific, but if we do, as moms or wives or veterans ourselves, because sometimes she's the one who served, right?
Yeah,
What do you think we bring different to the entrepreneurship space?
yeah, that's an interesting question. I think
Yeah.
from the entrepreneurship and the co-founder standpoint, and very specific for our company, but probably for all companies, I think being able to talk from a female perspective or just talking to other women. So in our space, it's often the moms of either the four-legged kids
Yep.
or the two-legged kids who are making a lot of the preventative medicine or preventative health choices,
Yeah.
and hearing their stories and then being able to talk to them one-on-one, I think it's a little bit easier for them to open up about their fears and concerns because sometimes it's easier for women to be vulnerable with each other. Not always, but sometimes, and I think that's one of the areas that being female founders can be helpful is that people are sometimes more comfortable being vulnerable. And as veterans, I
Yeah.
think we're so much better than we used to be, right? The
Mm.
the idea that mental health is so important and that we should seek and get the help and resources that we need. We're much more open about that. Um, but I still think that being vulnerable can be tough if you're coming
Yeah.
from the military because that's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be tough.
100%. Yeah, no, I can agree more. So, as kind of like the wrap up last question, what is the future of LymeAlert? What are you hoping to do, whether it's in the next year, 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah. So in the next year, as I shared, we're definitely going to get our kit out on the market. That's planned for this summer. And then next we'll go into multiplexing where we're testing for more than just one disease coming from a tick.
Yeah,
And then longer term, we're really excited about this idea of being a networked health intelligence platform where we can support not only our own business with collecting data that is useful for the consumer and the user, but also supporting other diagnostic companies and helping them be able to hotspot map and do some really amazing data analysis. So we just create a better informed public and a better informed public health agency ecosystem.
awesome. I absolutely love it. And I appreciate
Awesome.
you taking the time to talk to our community here. And congratulations again. That Salt Lake City was the first event that I wasn't able to attend. I had a conflicting responsibility that I had to be at. So didn't get to meet you in person. Usually I get to meet everyone in person and take pictures and do all the fun stuff. So congratulations from me to
Thank
you and from
you.
the entire team.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time to talk and happy holidays and
Absolutely.
hopefully meet in person at a future
Yes.
event. Uh,
Absolutely, and if anyone listening here wants to get grant money, pitch in a competition, or be just like Michelle here, make sure to visit warriorrising.org. Our programs are unparalleled and truly, truly rewarding, and you lead with a community, if anything, right? Education in
yeah,
a community. So check it out, and we'll see you next time.
thanks.